Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are officially fighting in November. This might be some of the craziest news that the boxing world has heard in a long time, and I think mostly because none of us really expected this to be announced. But here we are now. I'm sat here announcing Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul. One of the weirdest matchups I think boxing has seen for a long time, and that's mainly because of Gervonta Davis, not because of Jake Paul. I mean, look, a fight like this later on in Gervonta's career kind of would have made sense. I mean, we've seen the same kind of thing with Floyd Mayweather facing Logan Paul, so you'd think that this would be something when someone's retired and they just want to make a quick bag. But Gervonta is only 30 years old and arguably in the prime of his career. And everyone's a little bit confused because really we thought he'd be chasing the Lamont Roach rematch, considering a couple of months ago he had a draw to Lamont Roach, marking the first blemish on his record. So you'd be thinking that he'd be trying to get that one back. But no, he wants to fight Jake Paul instead. Now in this video, I'm going to run through a couple of things. First of all, the details of this fight as much as I know, talk on it a little bit, and then talk a little bit on why this fight is happening. So if you guys don't know, this is an exhibition fight. That's right, it's not a real sanctioned professional boxing fight. And I don't think it could be a professional boxing fight. They've already announced this fight for November 14th at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. And obviously this is a first announcement, so more details will be yet to come. But I think everyone's a little bit confused on the weight, considering Jake Paul last fought at 200 pounds and Gervonta Davis last fought at 135 pounds. That's a whole 65 pound weight difference. Now, do I think they will step in the ring at that weight? Probably not. We have to understand that Jake Paul probably bulked up for his last fight and Gervonta Davis weight cuts for every fight, so it will probably look a little bit more like a 30 to 40 pound weight difference. But still, that's a huge weight difference, especially when we're talking boxing and combat sports, and especially with Gervonta Davis standing at 5'5" and Jake Paul standing at 6'1". That's also an 8-inch height advantage for Jake Paul. So yeah, this is a pretty weird fight, but because of the fact that it's an exhibition, this weight difference is probably allowed. Not to mention this fight is also going to be broadcasted on Netflix, which can't be good news. If you guys don't know, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was streamed live on Netflix, which was an awful show. It kept freezing, so I have no idea why they've gone ahead and gone with Netflix again. Nevertheless, let's talk about the fight itself and how it might play out. Well, we all know there's a huge height and weight difference, but I think both of those factors are completely irrelevant in this fight, because I think one of two things will happen in my humble opinion. I think either A, they're going to make some crazy stupid rules like no knockouts or short rounds or something that makes this fight basically not even a fight. Extreme rules to the point where we won't even see any action in this fight and everyone will go home left unsatisfied. Or B, and this one could be more likely, Jake Paul's team pay off Gervonta Davis to take a loss in exchange for a massive bag. And those are my two opinions on it. I really don't know if that's actually going to happen. Who knows? Tank actually might come out and take off Jake Paul's head, and this might not actually be scripted, but who knows? We won't know until they're both in the ring. But it leaves fans with another big question. Why on earth is Gervonta Davis taking this fight? Now that's an interesting question, and to answer that we need to go about 12 months back in time. Now for the past year, Gervonta Davis has been kind of expressing the fact that he's fallen out of love with the sport of boxing, kind of expressing that he wants to retire, announced retirement, came back, and then he's fought Lamont Roach. Now his Lamont Roach fight didn't go as he expected. He obviously had a draw in that fight, and we saw a less motivated, dedicated Tank, and it seems that he actually has fallen out of love with the sport of boxing. So to me, it seems that everything he's doing now is just for money. It seems that all his hopes of legacy have kind of gone out the window. He has said that boxing is boring for him now, so could this be a sign of Gervonta Davis stepping away from boxing and focusing on the bag? I mean, it seems that way to me. It's obviously going to pay him a lot, and I can imagine Jake Paul's team will be giving him a lot if they pay him to take a fall, which to be honest is a real shame because Gervonta Davis is only 30 years old still. He probably has a lot more legacy to achieve and many more big fights to come in the future if he carried on a normal path. And that's not to say that he may not go back to it. He might very well go back to the sport of boxing after this, but I just have no idea why he would think to take a Jake Paul fight. It doesn't fit with his legacy or with the goals of someone who's trying to achieve greatness. Like I said, you think he'd be pushing for that Lamont Roach rematch, but that just doesn't seem to be the case, and we really don't know what's going on with Gervonta Davis. I guess we're going to hear more over the coming weeks, but I'm excited to see how this all plays out. What do you guys think of this fight though? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload. Anyways, that'll be all. I'll catch you in the next one.